Honorable Jacobs.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, you know, we do it interpellation style here, and if I'm satisfied with the answer that I receive, I will stop it, and then we can carry on. Chairperson, through you, I'd like to ask Mr. Jordaan, do you believe in the concept of democracy? Can you please put your microphone on when you respond?
I'm a product of a struggle for democracy.
You have respect for the concept of democracy.
You're asking me a question that is self-evident.
Okay. Do you understand the importance of term limits?
I understand it. I was sitting here as a member of parliament.
Do you understand the importance of term limits?
Yes.
Okay. Are you aware that you are one of the longest serving presidents of any football association on the planet? I'm not done. I'm not done. I'm not done. You are one of the longest serving on the planet. It's 12 years almost.
It's not true.
Can you let me finish? I'm still busy with my interrogation here. And that there...
Honorable Chairperson.
They must ask the questions
just
and
order.
answer. Now he's engaging me now.
Point of order, Chairperson.
Let me make the following ruling. If honorable members ask a question, give SAFA an opportunity to respond. SAFA respond, then we may ask the question. You may proceed.
Thank you, Chairperson.
Just a point of order, Chairperson.
Honorable Daniels.
Can we please, what I've witnessed here, it's not right. I witnessed my colleague, the Honorable Member Jacobs, talking to Dr. Jordaan and pointing his finger at him. That is very condescending. It is absolutely rude for a child to have that type of conduct to someone.
I'm a member of this house. You will not address me as a child.
And this is not how we must have. We must keep a decorum here when we talk to those people coming here. Thank you.
Honorable members, let's keep the decorum. I haven't seen the finger. If there was a finger pointed at Dr. Jordaan, I would like Honorable Liam Jacobs to apologize for that.
I apologize for that.
And I would like the Honorable Daniels also withdraw and address his colleagues as honorable members and not a child in this meeting.
Honorable Chairperson, because of my upbringing, I'm terribly sorry. I forgot I'm not at home where I deal with my children like that. So I withdraw, Chairperson.
Honorable Liam Jacobs, proceed.
Anyways, Chairperson, I would like to ask Mr. Jordaan, do you consider yourself a responsible leader?
Right.
Can he please switch his microphone on, Chair?
Chair, can I just understand? You said now, when we had the list of questions, that we'll have all the questions and then we'll answer. Is this now a deviation from that order that you sent?
I agree, but I think the interpellation may be led to what the member has read. But maybe I have to appeal to the member to ask a direct question pertaining to the content and the submission that has been made. Honorable Khabo.
Chairperson, thank you very much. For progress' sake, I think it's only fair that you also take the SAFA delegation into confidence in relation to how we conduct our engagements, whereby a member is either having liberty to submit questions in writing or ask all of those questions and allow the delegation to respond. And there is also an option for you to have a one-on-one interaction. I'll be asking you a direct question, I'll be expecting a response. So, President, you must not interpret it as an ambush. Probably the chair forgot to take you into confidence as to that's how we conduct our engagements. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Khabot. Honorable
Chair. So, President, you must not interpret it as an ambush. Probably the chair forgot to take you into confidence as to that's how we conduct our engagements. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Khabot. Honorable
Chair. And we never speak already. Yes. Can you give us 3 minutes? Because we are going.
Honorable Jacobs, proceed.
I've asked the question, does he consider himself to be a responsible leader?
Next question.
This is not next question. I'm holding you accountable. Do you consider yourself to be a responsible leader?
did you look at my areas of responsibility? I was sitting where you are sitting.
I'm asking you, it's a yes or no question.
I was sitting where you are sitting, and yes, I was a member of this parliament.
I'm asking, do you consider yourself to be a responsible leader?
The response was yes, Honorable Jacob.
Thank you very much. It's implied. In my hands, as I sit here, I have got something that I know you don't think that I have. But this here lists your full travel expenses up until about January 2024. On these travel expenses, you list an amount of 131,000 Rand to go to Ivory Coast and London from the 11th of January to the 14th of February. Then, second, you've been to Qatar twice on flights that could be no more than 15,000 Rand. That costs altogether 56,000 Rand and 31,000 Rand. This is obviously including accommodation as well. Then thirdly, I have you traveling to Vietnam for the Oceania Congress, which took place on 29 September to 3rd October 2023. What are we as South Africans doing in Vietnam at the Oceania Congress of an organization that only has 13 members, of which are thousands of kilometers away? Then, number 4, you've traveled to Cameroon for the African Cup of Nations at 105,574 Rand, when a ticket to Yaoundé can cost no more than 14,000 Rand max. Then, you've also traveled to Morocco for 82,833 Rand, when that flight could cost no more than 20,000 Rand max. So that is why I ask if you are responsible, because we've heard the financial standing of your organization. And when we hear the financial standing of your organization, don't feel attacked. When we hear the financial standing of your organization, it becomes apparent that there's a lack of responsibility. There's a lack of accountability. Because who is actually holding you to account, sir? Who is holding you to account?
No, can I answer?
I'm asking who is holding you to account.
No, but I must explain to you.
Give Dr. Jordaan an opportunity to explain.
I had no business to go to Vietnam. You may know, or you may not know, that South Africa made a bid for hosting of the Women's World Cup. The CEO was with me. Tumi Dlamini was with me. Do you have their costs there? Do you have their flight ticket there? This is a campaign. It's a campaign, and you are part of it now. So we were in Vietnam. We made a presentation. We were lobbying to get the votes to host the Women's World Cup. Qatar, obviously, was a World Cup. And the World Cup is a 30-day period event. You can't pick major events that I've attended and put the costs. I don't travel to a World Cup every year or every day. World Cup is once every 4 years. And therefore the costs, not just for me, for everyone else. Do you have other members who also were at the World Cup?
I'm asking you. You're not the one that asks me in this
you
meeting.
See, the fact that 10 people travel to the World Cup, you take one and say, this is it. I'd like to travel on your planes and pay 20,000 to go wherever. It's not
Chairperson,
real.
if I may.
It's not real.
If I may, Chairperson. If you are admitting to the fact that even more went, this balloons the cost at large. And there's a reason that I'm bringing this up. The reason I'm bringing this up is a matter of accountability. In my hands over here, I also have the fact that you consistently postpone meetings, that your organization is consistently postponing meetings. You've had your meeting on the 25th of Jan, and you are yet to have another meeting. That then got postponed March. That then got postponed again.
To major events. And by the way, I'm going to the World Cup again. And in the United States. And I don't think it's going to be 20,000 to go to the United States.
Chairperson, I'm satisfied with the answer. As I have my own time, I'm very much satisfied with the answer. And I find it interesting that we are going to Qatar in 2022 when we don't even qualify. Chairperson, I'd like to move on to the CFO.
But President, Chair.
Chairperson, I'd like to move on to the CFO.
I am not Bafana. I am an official. And when I go to the World Cup, I go and account to FIFA. I go and account. as a former member who delivered the World Cup, and when there's other World Cups, I get invited and I go and explain matters there. So it's not that the team must go, then I go. That's not the case. I'm a delegate, and I go regardless of whether the team qualifies or not.
Chairperson, I find it
Press.
interesting.
Honorable Jacobs, I think proceed with your next question to the CFO.
I find it interesting that we are using SAFA funds to attend FIFA events in that particular respect, but I'll continue to the CFO.
I
CFO.
represent SAFA. I'm a delegate of SAFA at FIFA.
CFO.
Don't you understand that?
CFO. I'll come back to you, Mr. Jordaan. CFO. Do you contend that SAFA is in a strong financial position?
No, SAFA is not in a strong financial position.
Can you please put the
I
microphone on?
Oh, it's on. I think in my presentation, I acknowledged that we've got financial challenges, but however, we are addressing those challenges.
Okay, you are addressing those challenges. The reason I ask this is, who's responsible for the financial decline of SAFA?
It's the whole organization. It's the whole organization. It's executive management. It's the NEC. It's the whole organization.
Do you as the leadership accept responsibility for the financial decline of SAFA?
Yes, we do.
You accept responsibility because it is under leadership like this where equity has worsened from 7 million, negative 7 million, to negative 14 million. This is a clear indicator of an organization that is in severe decline. And the reason I list this is because we can look at our current liabilities versus our current assets. And as somebody in the financial field, I'm sure you know what this would mean. Your current liabilities severely outweigh your current assets, meaning your ability to meet your expectations, your financial expectations, is severely hampered by the fact that your financial expectations are more than your ability to account for them. What do you make of that?
Can I respond to you at the chair?
Yeah, if you can respond.
No, thank you. In response to that, yes, that was a situation. And I think what happened, that's why when I was appointed chair of the Audit and Risk Committee, my first challenge was to say, I think that we not budgeting correctly. That's why a lot of the financial difficulties result because of they haven't taken current performances of the team into consideration. So part of that liabilities that you're speaking about, which exceeds the assets, result from unfunded expenditure relating to the performance of the teams. However, I also said, yes, we have a close to 250,000 rand properties which are unencumbered. And I said, before you even start considering using it as security for loans to take you out of the quagmire that you find yourself, I'd like to see that we have a turnaround strategy so that when we use money prodigiously to ensure that you reverse the situation. So at the moment, yes, I asked them also for a payment a strategy to ensure that we pay the debt not only as expected, but some of them arrangement has been made to defer payments, but to ensure that you can meet all your obligations in terms of that. So yes, first things I asked was...
Thank you for the response. May I just flag, before the honourable member proceed, may I just flag very interesting response to the strategy. If there can be preparations also be made on the strategy on, the paying back of these monies.
Chairperson, I was actually heading there. If I may, I was actually heading in that direction. I find that, there's of course a massive FIFA loan that was approved in 2022. Are you aware of this, Mr. Jordaan?
Yes.
Now that I direct the question to Mr. Jordaan, he doesn't want to answer. CFO, are you aware of this?
Honorable Jacobs, let me protect our visitors. If the question goes and the president of SAFA cannot respond, I have indicated that I have indicated, Honorable, that anyone who deems fit may respond to that question, because we might have someone who should with a much valuable answer than the member you are asking. Perhaps if we can go forward in that way. Who wanted to respond to that question?
Yes, we are aware
Okay.
of the FIFA
You are
law.
aware.
Yes, we are.
But I think South Africans need to be made aware of this as well. Right here, you'll find a letter that comes from an advocate by the name of Tebogo Motlanthe, right? Now, this individual writes this letter in 2022, and I asked this, given your financial position, you say you are in a bad financial position. I'm about to mention more debt that is included in this. In this particular letter, it states that you have a repayment period between 2023 and 2025 of this FIFA loan. Have you been able to honor it?
Yes, we have.
It is $250,000 times 2 a year, which is the equivalent of 8.9 million rand that is being drained out of SAFA to repay a loan. And that is why I raise these questions, Chairperson, because you must understand the matters regarding how much is actually given to players versus how much is given to officials, which is why I want to ask, and this is a qualitative question to Mr. Jordaan. I'd like to ask, are you happy with the size of your NEC?
The size of the NEC does not depend my happiness or unhappiness.
Do you believe that it is a size that yields the benefits that you'd like to see out of an NEC?
That is something that the NEC or the Congress can debate on.
Because on the 18th of June 2013, FIFA wrote to SAFA, and they wrote that your NEC is bloated, that your NEC is way too big, that your NEC, they've recommended that your NEC should consist of approximately 18 members, and it currently consists of 47. So if that is the case, this gives us an understanding of why you have bloated honoraria costs. You have honoraria costs that sit in 2023 at 2.5 million rand. This is just honoraria, not allowance, Chairperson. 2.5 million in 2023 and 6.1 million in 2024, which works out to 54,976 rand per member in 2023 and 130,000 rand per member in 2024. But had this been 18 members, Chairperson, the honoraria would have been 989,000 approximately in 2023 and 2.3 million rand in 2024. And I want us to take into consideration these numbers, because if you do the math here, Chairperson, you find that this is mathematics that is almost the equivalent of how much the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture had to give to you to bail you out due to your financial circumstances. So what steps are you actually taking against officials who are also responsible for the fact that your finances are not in a good space?
Honorable Jacobs, please wrap up.
I've asked the question, Chairperson. I'll wrap up shortly after.
The letter that you read, I think the letter is dated 2013. Is that?
Yes.
I just want to, it's 2013. We are now in 2025. The first question you must ask, what did SAFA do in terms of that letter? I think that letter was signed by Jerome Bark.
You've got the completely wrong names here, but you can proceed. It's signed by Marco Villager. And
Marco Villager was the head of legal at the time.
And Oliver Jabber.
Yes. That matter was discussed with FIFA. So that thing has no value. That matter was dismissed. You see, there are a number of... FIFA has 211 members. And the way the membership are composed depend on a number of issues. It's not just pick a number, this is a number of... If you look at our statutes, you'll actually see the breakdown of the NEC.
So, Chairperson, in that regard, through you, has FIFA said that you are fine? That the size of your NEC is fine?
That FIFA does not exist anymore, and it was agreed that to leave the matter.
So you disagree with the fact that NEC should be smaller, and you'd rather have a bloated NEC as you sit here?
No, I don't agree with that. I don't support or not support it. For me, it's a matter of the members themselves. The statutes was approved by the members. The NEC is here, and the allocation per province is here, and how they come to represent the provinces are also in our statutes.
So,
Honorable
Chairperson,
Jacobs.
as I wrap up, Chairperson,
Unfortunately,
I want to read a letter from one of the clubs, and I want to read this in light of the fact that you have financial woes, that you are unable to pay your salaries, that you struggle to do so. I
Honorable
received
Jacobs,
a letter, Chairperson.
unfortunately, your time has expired. I'm 1 minute over. What I'll suggest, keep those. When we do the recommendations, we can have discussions and decisions on the way
Chairperson, it will
forward.
take me no more than 30 seconds to read this letter.
Your time has expired. Who's the next member?